Good morning. It's Thursday, August 14th. Here's what we're working on this morning. Air Canada begins cancelling some of its flights already ahead of a possible work stoppage on Saturday.
The Canadian Union of Postal Workers says it will hold 2 days of talks with Canada Post.
And the Canadian Championship semi-final opens with a tie. Good morning, and we open the day with some pleasant temperatures, dare I say?
Yes,
yeah,
very much so.
Nice stepping outside this morning.
Yes, it's not oppressively hot.
Yes, there's a bit of freshness in the air here this morning, which was so nice. And it kind of crept in stealthily yesterday. We didn't get like an explosion of showers and thunderstorms, at least not where I was yesterday, but some areas might have got something. But generally, it was pretty quiet. And what we're looking at today is lovely sunshine, and temperature will be a bit cooler. At least the heat warnings are gone. Thankfully, that has been canceled. So what we'll have for the day today is lovely sunshine. I know the sun's not up yet. It's taking its own sweet time now. Today we're going to climb to 28 degrees with the humidex still about 32. So it'll be a nice warm summer day, not in the hot category into the 30s. That'll happen tomorrow. So it's back into it tomorrow. But we're sitting at 17 degrees right now. What a nice start to the morning. There's a little bit of fog around, but that should dissipate, then the sunshine comes up. All right, looking at traffic this morning, and again, this time of the morning, there's never usually anything. That's the way it is right now. 403 Waterdown Road looks good at the moment. Just a few MTO traffic cameras. Give you a little bit of an overview. We'll have a look at the QEW. Here's the QEW Red Hill Creek, Toronto bound away from us, Toronto bound towards us, top of the Skyway, Walker's Line, going through Burlington, doing fine both directions. No problems on the roads right now. We'll look at the forecast, give you all the details for today, tomorrow, and the weekend. We'll check that coming up right now, the news.
Okay, thanks very much, Brian. And right now, check your flight status if you're heading out. Air Canada has started cancelling some flights as it gets ready for a possible lockout and strike on Saturday. Simone Gavros back at Pearson International with more. You didn't bring your luggage, though.
No, not this time, Annette, but these cancellations are going to be causing a lot of people to be left in limbo, especially during one of the busiest travel seasons of the year. Pearson Airport already said this week that they were expecting over 1 million people to be departing and arriving this week alone, but Air Canada is going to start canceling those flights starting today. I did check on their website before I left this morning, and nothing seems to be canceled just yet, but that's going to be starting today and tomorrow to mitigate some of the chaos ahead of the strike deadline just before 1 a.m. on Saturday. There could be a complete grounding of all flights if a deal isn't reached by the 11th hour. So there's a lot of uncertainty right now for people, including those who are abroad, trying to figure out those next steps. The union representing the 10,000 cabin workers are demanding better deals, including pay bumps relative to inflation and compensation for when they're working on the ground before and after flights. Air Canada says its latest offer is 38% total compensation increases over 4 years. Now, aside from the traveler impact, Robert Kokonis with aviation advisory firm AirTrav says a long-term strike would have a significant economic impact.
I think the pressure is also on the company to settle, but I might add the pressure is also on all the parties to settle because AirTrav, we have a senior airline economist that has calculated the impact Canada-wide to gross domestic product, GDP, direct and indirect impacts at $90 million per day. So if there was to be, say, a 2-week strike, we're talking about $1.5 billion. And that's a figure the Canadian economy at the present time can ill afford.
Now, this morning, I've reached out to a labor relations expert and a passengers' rights expert for more about what this is going to mean for travelers. For now, it's back over to you, Rick.
Thank you, Simone. Canada Post and its postal workers are restarting talks in their long-standing labor dispute. The union representing 55,000 postal workers says it has agreed to meet with Canada Post tomorrow and Monday. The talks come after workers rejected Canada Post's latest proposal, which would have seen wage hikes of about 13% over 4 years and restructuring to add part-time workers. The union says its national overtime ban remains in effect. Negotiations for a new collective agreement have been ongoing for more than a year and 4.5. Canada Post says it looks forward to receiving a comprehensive response from the union that addresses the significant and increasing challenges faced by the Postal Service when it meets tomorrow.
Employees at a Brantford long-term care home say they have been without a contract for 3 years.
The contract has gone to arbitration, but the arbitration date is not until next March. So it's quite a ways away, and there's still ability to come to the table and settle this and forget about arbitration, which is what we're really hoping to achieve here.
They're continuing to hold an information picket outside the John Noble home in Brantford today and tomorrow on their own time because they're essential workers. The home says it's unfortunate that no settlement has been reached. The long-term care home on Brantford's Mount Pleasant Road has more than 150 licensed beds.
Hateful and racist graffiti has appeared on the outside of a high school in Norfolk County. It was scratched and drawn on several doors at Delhi District Secondary School. We've blurred out the graffiti for broadcast. The OPP tells CHCH News it's early in the investigation.
A Hamilton man who was the victim of a naked thief is recovering in hospital from severe injuries. The afternoon of July 27th, Jerry Santucci was pushed off his bike by a man who'd been running naked down Kenilworth Avenue in Hamilton's industrial area. The thief was caught not far away, but Santucci's been left with head trauma and several other injuries. A GoFundMe campaign has been started to help raise money for the 67-year-old as he faces months of recovery and rehab. Halton police are investigating 2 disturbing front door incidents in Oakville. They're trying to identify this man, who they say committed an indecent act outside of 2 houses on Monday. After ringing the doorbell, they say he committed an indecent act while facing the door camera. He's white with a medium build and brown hair and was wearing a blue t-shirt and white shorts. Although these images are from one doorbell camera, police are investigating 2 separate cases and they believe there may be more. CHCH News has profiled some of the candidates who are vying for a city council seat on Hamilton's West Mountain. 26 candidates are on the ballot for the Ward 8 by-election. The runner-up in the last Ward 8 race, Sonia Brown, mentions housing and efficient use of tax dollars in her election platform. There she is there. Her former Hamilton councillor and MP Scott Duval says he's running to make life more affordable in the area. Community activist Lohifa Pogasan-Acker is focused on affordability, public safety, and community connectedness. Disability advocate Anthony Frazina says transit is becoming a bigger issue in his ward. We have a list of all of the candidates on our website, chch.com. The by-election to replace Councillor John Paul Danko, who is now a Liberal MP, is coming up September 22nd. Meantime, over 14,000 people voted at advance polls in the federal by-election that's coming up next week in Alberta. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre is among more than 200 candidates running in the riding of Battle River Crowfoot after losing his Ottawa area seat in the April federal election. Poilievre's former riding of Carleton actually saw the highest advance voter turnout during the entire federal election, with more than 43,000 people showing up to cast their ballots early for that one. Elections Canada data shows that around the same amount of people voted during advance polls in the Alberta riding as in the April vote.
Sportsline, Forge FC and the Vancouver Whitecaps put on a show at Hamilton Stadium in the opening leg of their Canadian Championship semi-final.
Abramovich long toss, the header will open up, Boma! From a throw-in, Forge punish Vancouver Whitecaps. It's the Ghanaian left all on his lonesome, who makes no mistake from in tight.
Nana Ampoma opened the scoring for the home side in the 10th minute when he capitalized on a failed clearing attempt by Vancouver, giving Forge an early 1-0 lead. But Hamilton's advantage was short-lived as Tristan Blackman responded for the Whitecaps when he converted a superb diving header in the 18th minute, and were tied 1-1. And it didn't take long for the visitors to strike again as Brian White silenced the Hamilton fans with a goal just 11 minutes later to give Vancouver a 2-1 lead. But Forge leveled the score at 2-2 in the the 34th minute when Brian Wright was practically gifted a goal. He made no mistake in finding the back of the net in what was an evenly fought match all night long. The Caps will host the second leg of the semifinal series in Vancouver on September 16th. In the other Can Champ semifinal, Vancouver FC downed Atletico Ottawa 3-1 in their first leg. It was an upset victory for Vancouver, who sit last in the Canadian Premier League, while Ottawa is battling Forge for top spot. Atletico will host the second leg of their semifinal in the nation's capital on September 18th. Blue Jays bats were held in check last night as the Cubs rookie Cade Horton had his mojo going. The right-hander struck out a career-high 8 batters in 5 2/3 innings to win his 4th straight start as Chicago beat Toronto 4-1. The 23-year-old Horton didn't allow a hit until the 6th inning, and his 28 1/3 inning scoreless streak was snapped 3 batters later when Vladdy Guerrero Jr. drove in Toronto's only run of the game. Michael Busch and Matt Shaw homered to help Horton improve his record to 7-3. The two teams will play the rubber match of their series this afternoon at the Dome.
Little roller towards short. Picking it up is Bichette. Safe at first, and let's see if Amaya's okay. Oh, boy.
Yeah, this one hurts. In his first game back from the injured list, Cubs catcher Miguel Amaya was carted off the field last night after injuring his left ankle while landing awkwardly on first base in the 8th inning. The 26-year-old stayed down for a while before a medical cart helped him off the field. Cubs manager Craig Counsell says Amaya suffered an ankle sprain, and X-rays came back negative. Ahead of their game in Saskatchewan this Saturday, the Ticats list of injuries is adding up. 10 of the walking wounded did not participate in practice yesterday, including safety Stavros Katsantonis, cornerback Jamal Peters, and return man Isaiah Wooden. The Montreal Alouettes, meantime, placing quarterback McLeod Bethel Thompson on the 6-game injured list with a right elbow injury. The team has signed former Argos quarterback Cameron Dukes. Big news for Buffalo Bills fans. The team has finally signed star running back James Cook to a 4-year contract extension. It's worth $48 million. $30 million of that is guaranteed. Cook has rushed for more than 1,000 yards in each of his last 2 seasons and tied O.J. Simpson's team record with 16 rushing TDs last year. Canada beat host Czechia 5-0 in their final round-robin game of the Hlinka Gretzky Cup. The Canadians won all 3 of their games and outscored their opponents 19-4. Up next for Canada is a semifinal date against the 2-1 United States tomorrow.
6:12, sun's not up yet, but let's check traffic. We've got nothing in traffic this morning, so we'll just show you some cameras. This is our exclusive camera, the 403 in Waterdown Road. Nothing there. Let's go to some MTO traffic cameras, and we'll start in St. Catharines at the 406. Looks good. Red Hill Creek. We'll flip ahead to Fairview Street, Toronto bound towards us. Toronto bound now away from us here at east of Royal Windsor at the Ford plant. Flipping ahead to the 427, Gardner QEW combination. We're not seeing any problems there. As you get to, you can see the Gardner Expressway way in the distance there. Everything's doing fine so far today. Okay, temperature this morning, really interesting. Look at this temperature's just fallen a couple of degrees. We're now sitting at 15. What a nice fresh start to the day after all that heat and humidity we had. So the winds now coming at us from the west-northwest. Now that's indicative of that change, the cooler air flooding in, very light, but the sun's not quite up yet, so I'm showing you mainly sunny sky. Anyhow, hey, there it is, canceled the heat warning. Woohoo! We'll enjoy that. So what we have today for air quality risk, low risk category, both morning and for the afternoon. So what we have, that cold front went through, of course. What we have now is some sunshine for the day today. Actually, sun through the weekend, slim chance of a shower on Sunday, but today sun, tomorrow sun, Saturday we'll have sun. It will get a little bit warmer as we continue toward the weekend, but today temperature high 20s, about 28 degrees. Factor in the humidity, it'll feel like about 32. So nice August day. There is a chance of a shower, slim chance of a shower into Guelph today. Otherwise, tonight skies will be clear. Some areas will get some fog patches. Temperatures 18 degrees generally, 16 to the west. And we're looking at tomorrow. Tomorrow temperatures climb 29 to 30, but lovely sunshine for the day tomorrow. Humidex about 33. So out the door on the 14th of August now, we're looking at mainly sunny skies, temperature 15. Long range, of course, coming up. Annette, Rick.
Okay, thanks very much. Well, coming up after the break, China's 76% tariff on Canadian canola seed is set to come into effect today. We'll tell you how that is already impacting Canadian farmers. 6:17 on the button. There we go. In overseas trading this morning, the Canadian dollar is down 11 basis points at 72.55 cents U.S. Gold is down more than $10 an ounce. Crude oil is up 27 cents, trading just under $63 a barrel. Midday trading in Europe, markets are down a little bit in London, up in Frankfurt and Paris, though.
Over in Asia, markets were down in Tokyo, Hong Kong, and Shanghai. And on North American markets, the TSX gained 72 points at close yesterday. The Dow jumped 464. The Nasdaq gave back 31 points.
China's 76% tariff on Canadian canola is now in effect, and it's hitting farmers across the prairies, especially in Manitoba, very hard. Manitoba Premier Wab Kinew is urging the federal government to step in and support the farmers.
So we're extending that outreach to the federal government, saying let's work together to support the ag sector, which is the backbone of our prairie economy and our Canadian economy. And let's see the federal government step up with the same sort of supports that you've seen for the steel industry, for the auto industry, and for the lumber industry.
Kinew suggests the federal government should use the $100 million in revenues it's collected from China on electric vehicle tariffs. Canola producers in Saskatchewan are already feeling the hit.
The imposition of these tariffs has already affected the price of canola. The price that farmers get for the canola when we deliver it to the elevator has already seen a drastic reduction in the value. So I guess it remains to be seen how long that trend is going to continue for it to decline and where exactly it's going to end up. But certainly in the short term, we're seeing a significant decline in the value of our canola that we grow on our farm.
Just on news of that, it was down about $1 a bushel. Well, China says the dumping of Canadian canola into their market is hurting its domestic canola oil market. Beijing has already hit Canadian canola meal and oil with 100% tariffs. The latest move on canola seed now means that all canola products face tariffs.
There's a new loan program in Ontario to help businesses that have been affected by U.S. tariffs.
We know businesses are facing tremendous uncertainty, and we will continue to protect Ontario's workers, businesses, and jobs from the impacts of U.S. tariffs. Our close economic ties to the U.S. indeed present elevated risks and uncertainty to the province's economic outlook. It is exactly with those risks and uncertainties in mind that we have built the Protect Ontario financing program.
The program is part of a $5 billion tariff-related support package Ontario announced in its spring budget, with the province opening up $1 billion for affected businesses in the sector. Finance Minister Peter Bethlen-Falvey says these funds will help ensure businesses can make their payroll, lease, and utility payments. Businesses must be affected by certain tariffs, have a minimum of 10 employees, and a minimum of $2 million in annual revenue to qualify.
Turns out the Bank of Canada considered cutting interest rates in July, but it left its key rate unchanged at 2.75% for a third straight meeting. Policymakers had weighed a quarter-point cut, but they cited trade tensions with the United States, a resilient Canadian economy, and mounting risk to inflation as reasons to hold things as is. In a summary of deliberations, the bank says it was still too early to assess how tariffs and the rewiring of trade would affect economic activity and inflation in Canada. The next interest rate decision is set for September 17th.
All right, we're going to take a quick time out. Brian is going to return with traffic and your 7-day weather forecast. Good morning.
Look at that on the button, 624. There we go into this. You love it when that happens, don't you? Okay, here we go into this Thursday morning. What is today? The 14th of August already. Well, let's check the skyways. Here's the Garden City Skyway. That's the west camera doing fine. How about the Burlington Skyway? Hamilton side, so Toronto bound towards us on that one. No problems there. Walker's Line still looks good. Lauren Park through Mississauga, dipping into the 403, going through Mississauga, west of Mississauga Road. Nothing there either, so everything's rolling nicely. Temperature this morning, We were 17 last hour. This hour, we're sitting at 15. What a nice fresh start to the morning for a change. So 19 for Grimsby, Mississauga, 21 into Toronto. Seasonal temperatures now for an overnight low, 15 degrees. So we're sitting seasonal right now. 25 for the daytime high. We'll beat that for the day today. Those are our sun times and records for today. And yes, we are going to see the sun today. And the temperature will be a little bit cooler than yesterday. Yesterday we got to 29. Humidex around 36. Today, 28, feeling like 32. So it won't feel quite as sticky outside with that sun. 18 overnight tonight. Could get some fog patches. Tomorrow, sunshine, 30, feeling like 33. 32 on Saturday. So the heat comes back as we get into the weekend. 30 degrees again on Sunday, but there is a chance of a shower. And then look at those temperatures drop. 22 Monday, 22 Tuesday. Both days sunny. Chance of a shower by midweek. That's your forecast. Annette, Rick.
Okay, thanks very much, Brian. Well, Hong Kong's first giant panda twins are set to celebrate their first birthday tomorrow.
Their mother made history last August as the world's oldest first-time panda mom at 19. That's the equivalent to 57 in human years. Her decade-long journey to parenthood with her partner included multiple phantom pregnancies and miscarriages before the surprise arrival of the cubs sparked widespread joy across Hong Kong. A zookeeper says the twins still drink formula milk but have started exploring bamboo leaves. One of the cubs is more laid back. The other is eager to interact with his sister, mother, and the keepers. The caregiver says he hopes that her story will promote wildlife conservation. They are so fun.
Just hanging there. It's like, ah.
Oh, wow. Good for them. Mama and Papa and the two cubs. That is cute. I could watch pandas all day.
I know, I could too.
Just doing nothing. Or just doing this.
I would volunteer as a panda keeper, I think. Just hanging there. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, nice and snuggly. Laid back, low maintenance. Now that's a pet.
So cute.
Yes. Stay with us. More to come after the break here on Morning Live. Good morning.
We're going to be watching more of this during the break.
Yes, absolutely.